My name is Belsa Rios. I am your teacher success champ over at Cami. What that means, I know it sounds like really not fancy, but what it means is I teach teachers how you can take Cami and put it into your classroom. One of the things that I love to tell teachers is you are never alone in your Cami journey. So at any point, if you feel that you need a little bit of extra help, my email is right here on this presentation, which I will share with you guys in a couple of minutes. Um, I was a former teacher at Valley View ISD, so if you are on any of the Vanguard FAR campuses, I was just south of you. And I live right close by the one that used to be the Oratory Academy. I'm not sure which one of the campuses it is today, but I'm like 5 minutes from there. So if you ever need anything, I can just hop over in person as well. Um, so I did teach 8 through 12 social studies for 15 years, and I'm about to complete 2 years at Cami in January. And today with me is the lovely Chelsea. She is my beautiful and wonderful coworker and friend, and she's going to be helping us out today in our session. Chelsea, do you want to say hi?
Hello, all. I'm Chelsea. I am not in Texas with y'all, but I've serviced Texas with Cami for the last 3 years. I'm in California and I'm the account executive for Texas. I've been working with your district to get Cami last year and maintain it going into this next chunk of this school year. And any questions you have, just pop them in the chat. I'll make sure that Belsa gets to them so she's not having to double read and double check. And we are here to support you. Thank you for being here today.
Yep. So today we're going to be doing a little bit of Cami's latest and greatest. Now, one of the things that I want to touch upon is just how easy it is to share Cami. So today you guys are actually going to get a copy of these notes. These are going to be for you to keep. You're going to be able to get your own individual copy and you're going to be able to write on them, make notes on them, play along as I'm showing off the different tools. So this is going to be your own copy and it's super easy for me to get this to you. I would just have to go to my share button, which looks like the share icon that you would see on WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, and whatnot. And when I hit that share icon, I'm going to have a couple of options here. So first of all, the first question, if you're going to share Cami from inside of Cami, the first question that you want to ask yourself is, hey, how am I going to share this? Are we going to do this together as a group? Or are we going to do this individually? So because I want each of you to be able to have your own copy to take and to share with other teachers and so forth, I'm going to create that individual copy. Now, if you noticed next to each of these copies or next to each of these options, you have something that we call control features. This allows you, the teacher, to turn on and off the tools at your discretion. So if you have an IEP that says, hey, this student has read out loud, you can turn that on for them. However, if they do not, you can easily turn it off. Just always remember that when turning these tools on and off, you have to hit that OK button down at the bottom. Okay, so 2 questions. 1, how are we going to share this, group or individual? And 2, what tools are we going to leave on? All right. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this link and I'm going to go ahead and drop it in the chat. Now, once it's dropped in the chat, you can just go ahead and click on that link. You are going to get your own individual copy of the notes, and you can just follow along seeing all of Cami's latest and greatest. Hopefully you can have 2 tabs open. If not, 1 tab watching me, this is recorded. You guys can always go back and follow along later. Okay. If anybody ever needs the notes, please just go ahead and drop me a link in the chat. So one of the first things that I do want to show you is normally I would love to tell you that I was able to create this amazing slide deck inside of Cami, but that is a little bit tricky and it's a little bit hard just because of the way the tools work. So this is actually from Google Slides, right? It's just a lot easier and the movement is a lot freer inside of Google Slides. But one thing that I do want you to notice is that whether you are in Google Slides or Google Docs, or if you've ever used Jamboard, just FYI, Jamboard will be gone. You do have this open with Cami button. So if you hit that open with Kami button, it'll automatically take your slides into Kami. Okay? So you don't have to worry about going into file and then you have to hit download, PDF, make sure you remember where you saved it, come to Kami and upload it. Using that open with Kami button will automatically export this over to your Kami and you have it here right away. Now, if you noticed, if you've done this before, you probably got a message that said, would you like to convert this? I want to show you another little tip and trick to avoid that. If you go into your settings, which are always found in your initials, you could go into your settings, and if you scroll all the way to the bottom, under our features here, you're going to notice convert non-PDF files. I have turned this off, so it's basically keeping it in that format. And what this allows me to do is if I make any changes to my master, so let's just say I'm going to add the word, I'm going to grab a little text box and add the word hello. Let me do this in white. So when I go into this one right here and I hit refresh, since it is not converted into a PDF file, it will make those changes. So again, that's found in your settings, and that's basically telling Kami, hey, export this as is. You don't need to turn it into a PDF. That way, if I make any changes to my master slides inside of Google, when I refresh inside of Kami, those changes have also been made. Okay, so this is just like a little tip and trick. Apparently this has always been a thing. I just didn't know it until like 2 weeks ago. And then of course I can go ahead and delete my hello. And then again, if I refresh, it'll be deleted. So again, you can make changes to the master slide that will make change into your Kami document. However, you do have to make the change in your settings, which are your initials, and the change would be that you would turn off the convert non-PDF files, and I'll show you that again. So been deleted, settings, and then scroll all the way down. So right here, convert non-PDF files, go ahead and turn that off. Right. Well, that's only if you choose. Right. Completely up to you how you want to do your slides. But yep, that's one of the newest features that we have. Well, it's not new, but it's one of the ones that we are now highlighting, making sure that everybody knows, because that's a big thing when sharing slides. They want to be able to make those changes and then transfer over. So yeah, we've got that going on. So as you scroll through this, by the way, you're going to see some of the newest things that have come out of Kami. So we can now say very safely and very proudly with Kami that we now have over 2,000 different templates. So if you follow me to slide number 5, and if you click on the orange button that says Explore Kami Library, what this is going to do is it's going to open up a brand new tab. This tab is going to direct you into our Kami library, where we now have something like 2,000 some templates, and we have things from a graphing coordinate with XY axis. This is completely fillable. So if you are currently teaching math, just so you know, we are updating our math tools. We are now going to work with, I can't remember, but it's a company or it's a program that you can write out formulas. Equatio. Thank you, Chelsea. We're now working with Equatio, so we can integrate that into Kami. That's being currently beta tested. They are upgrading the equation tool itself, and I think somewhere along the lines I heard somebody say that we're also thinking of integrating a calculator, but I'm not sure where in our timeline that's all falling, but I can assure you that that is all being worked on as we're speaking. So let's just say that you do want to work with this template, but you want to add it to a lesson that you already have. You can actually combine inside of Split and Merge. So if I wanted to combine this graph, I'm going to go ahead and click on this little plus sign, and it says add to Split and Merge drawer. Cool. That means I'm now going to have it in my drawer so that I can use other material, whether it's from the Kami library for my Google Drive, OneDrive, or my computer, right? So I've got my graphing coordinate. Now I need to find my math work. So I know that my math work is inside of my Google Drive. So I'm going to go ahead and go from my Kami library to split and merge. Now I'm going to go ahead and go into my very unruly, unorganized Google Drive. And I'm going to look for that math file. And hopefully it pops up. So we are, let's see, we'll take this one, secondary math. Now I have no clue if this is going to use a graph, but we'll put it together. So I have now taken something from my Kami library, this very fillable graphing coordinate PDF. I've taken my math worksheet from my Google Drive, and now I'm going to combine them. So I'm just going to bring this here. Now, if I need this more than once, because I need obviously more than one graph, I can just hit on clone page and then move it, clone it again, and then move it, and then clone it one more time and put it at the end. So once I have my pages the way I want them, which by the way, you can rearrange these however you like. Pro tip, please remember to always rename your file. So we will call this math graphing. And then after you have titled it, you get to choose where you take your file. So you can export it and you could save it right back into your Google Drive. You can select your folder. I'll go ahead and put it under Kami. And so I've now taken it because I'm not going to use it this week. I'm going to use it next week, but I want to prepare it already because I am thinking ahead. Or if I need to use it right now, I can go ahead and export, open in Kami, continue. And once I open in Kami, I can then start using all the brand new math tools that we have. So for example, here is my very fillable, so I can include, well, let's see, is this, we'll put 1, 2, 3, 4. I love how it's trying to put my address. And so forth. So it's very much fillable and you can put whatever numbers you like. I just started at 1, and then I can take my ruler from my drawing tool, and then I can go ahead and start plotting. And then I can move this wherever I need it, and then I'm going to take my red color and then just trace my line. And then I can get rid of my ruler, and I have now, according to me in my wonderful head, I have now graphed, even though I probably haven't done much but draw a line. But we do have our ruler, we have our protractor where you can go with 180, and again, move this around wherever you need, grab one of the colors, trace around it. That way you know where exactly your angles and your measurements are, or you can use our brand new compass. So if you want to make your compass, depending on what angles you need, you can decide. So 185, grab my pencil and draw my little circle. So we are looking at adding more math tools. So currently we've got ruler, protractor, compass. We have the ability to switch out the colors, to trace over them. We've got the fillable graphs, but we are adding, like I said, we're trying to work with Equatio to make the writing of equations a bit simpler for our students and teachers. So these are just some of the things that we've already added, plus the many more that are to come. Okay. So any questions on our Kami library, where you can grab all your different little templates that you may need? Any questions on split and merge, putting together your material, my material, or using our math tools that are either found in shapes, not shapes, either found in drawing or under our equation, and then you have your symbols. Any questions, thoughts, or ideas over that? All right, cool. So again, feel free to drop anything in the chat. Chelsea and I will both be more than happy to answer. Now, if you're ready to share this out to your teachers, or to your students, I'm sorry. Once you have done everything that you like to do, you've added the graph. If you're like, oh no, I did this example last week and I forgot to delete, don't worry about that. You can go into our menu and then just hit delete all annotations, and it'll go ahead and delete all annotations that were on here. Okay. So again, you don't have to worry about whether you have stuff on there trying to delete one by one. You can just go into the menu and delete all the annotations. Now, if you know that surface area is a difficult topic for your students and you want to give them a little extra help, there's a couple of new tools or updates to tools that we already have that may be able to help you. So the first one is found under Add Media. If you notice under Add Media, not only do you have the ability to go straight into Google image search, but you also have the ability to add or embed YouTube videos. So I'm going to go ahead and grab our YouTube option. Now, I didn't have a link ready because I wanted to show you guys just how easy this is. I'm going to go ahead and open YouTube, and I'm going to look for a video on how to calculate surface area. Right. So here we've got different videos and you guys can look through each of them. So we'll look at this one for surface area of a triangular prism. Now, obviously here we have an ad with Tom Brady, who should honestly just retire and, I don't know, go live on the beach or something. But this is not something that we want for our kids. We're like, I don't think my kids are old enough to rent a car, so I don't care about that. I just want the video itself. So I'm going to go ahead and click on share. And I'm going to grab this link right here, which says copy. Once I've copied that link, I can even close this out because I'm not going to need it anymore. And I'm going to come here and just paste that link. Once I do that, I now have that video embedded here and it's ready to go. Now, currently this video is 6 minutes and 42 seconds long. If I know that I don't need the first couple of seconds or the last couple of them, I can go ahead and trim and edit that video as I like. So it doesn't have to be that whole 6 minutes and 42 seconds, but for today's purposes, we can just leave it as is. And then I'm just going to go ahead and drop it right here. And then again, I can go ahead and move it off to the side and make it a little bit smaller. That way the students are able to still see their activity. They're still able to see where they need to type in their answers, but they also have now a video that's going to help them to understand how they can get surface area. So they can go ahead and play the video.
Welcome to Math with Mr. J.
And if you notice, as soon as I hit play, it played it straight from here. It did not take my students to YouTube. It did not tell them, hey, here's a commercial, here's an ad. It plays just the video itself.
In this video, I'm going to cover
So if the kids tell you, I can't see, because some of your kids might be like me that, you know, need glasses, which is perfectly fine. You can go ahead and go full screen.
Of a triangular prism.
You also will not lose your YouTube settings. So if you want to do captions, you totally can. Also know that sometimes you are able to play these captions in a different language. So you could, for example, maybe look for Spanish. Now this one doesn't seem to have other than the English ones, but you do have some videos that will already have Spanish translations in there. All right. So now the other issue that sometimes teachers might run into when it comes to videos is you might not actually want it on the page because you want to give your students all of this space to work, which is completely understandable. So we'll go ahead and delete the video. So remember, I copied that last link from YouTube, so that'll be the last thing that I copied. So if I still want the video, but I don't want it on the actual sheet itself, I can go ahead and grab a comment, and I'm going to use a text comment. And I know that this sounds a little counterproductive, text comment for a video, but just follow me for a sec. I'm going to go ahead and place my text comment so that the student, I'm going to change this color. And then that exact same link that I took from YouTube, I'm going to now include it in the text box and hit enter. When I do that, I now have that exact same YouTube video. And again, when I hit play, I'm not getting ads. I'm not taking my students into YouTube. And again, I still have those same options for full screen, for captions, and be able to change the settings. So my students can be working with their drawing tool, with their ruler that's inside the drawing tool. They're like, let's see, things like that. They have the ability to use all these different tools. However, if they forgot right in the middle of the lesson, how do I calculate surface area? They can always reference this video here. Okay. And they're like, I don't need to bother the teacher. I can just play it and I will be able to figure this out. So you basically have a little sidekick, a little teacher aid that the students will automatically be able to return to and not have to worry about maybe you're a little bit busy, or maybe on that moment you were called out for an art or you were called out for a different type of meeting, but you don't have to worry about it because you're always going to have somebody that's going to be able to help your kids when you're not available. Okay. So any questions on embedding those YouTube videos, whether you do it via our ad media? Now, the only thing that I will tell you is there is going to be a slight difference. So if I embed the video using our ad media, which is right here, I can trim the video. That means I can make it shorter. If I use the video by adding it via a text comment, I have to leave the video as is. So if this video was 6 minutes and 42 seconds, I cannot trim it. So that is the only difference between putting the video via the ad media versus adding it as a text comment. All right. Any questions, thoughts, or I'll give you guys a couple of minutes, maybe a minute or two. That way you guys can try it out and see what you think of adding these different YouTube videos. Chelsea?
Yeah, Erica had a question about your account. I will be working with a friend to make sure that everyone that's moving forward with Kami is listed on the license. So if you're listed on a trial account right now, that's fine. That means you have access to the full account. And if you're interested in moving forward with Kami for the rest of the 24 school year, definitely let your team know.
Thank you for that, Chelsea.
You're welcome.
All right. So yeah. Moving forward, there is one more thing that you can do when it comes to basically adding a video to help out your students and to reteach or to give instructions. And you can also use this as a way to allow your students a different way to answer. And that is also found in our comment tool, and it is our screen capture. So I think in my 15 years of teaching, and I'm pretty sure it's happened to Chelsea, and it probably happened to Efrain, and at some point in your teaching career, it will probably happen to you. You are in the middle of a great lesson, you are having the time of your life with your kiddos, you get a knock at the door, and they're like, hi, we need you for an ARD. We need you for a parent meeting. We need you for a LPAC meeting. We need you for a field trip. They call you out and you're like, I'm not ready. I don't have my stuff folder or something to that effect, because I think it's going to happen to all of us. It happened to me a couple of times. But there is a great way for you to actually clone yourself. So if you do not want to add a YouTube video because you're like, I think I could do it a little bit better, but I do not feel like becoming a YouTube star, totally understandable. You could do that via our screen capture. So you're going to use our screen capture tool. And you're going to go ahead and click where you would like the students to have this video. And remember, with all our comments, they're off to the side. I'm going to go with entire screen. And what this is going to allow me to do, and I lost you guys There we are. What this is going to allow is it's going to allow me to capture my entire screen. That means that every tab I open, including what's in the back, all of that will be recorded so I can be explaining to my students step by step what they need to do. I can go to a different tab inside of Google Classroom if I need to, or I can go to a different website if that's where they're going to get that extra help from. I can work out one of these problems step by step with the drawing tool or with the equation tool or with the text box. All of that can be done. And then hopefully I'm still sharing my screen and you guys are still seeing this. I think so. Once that is done, what you're going to notice is the video is going to stay right here. So this is pretty much the same thing that you would have done had this been a YouTube video, but this is no longer a YouTube video. This is you, the teacher, explaining step by step what your kiddos need to do. So you no longer have to worry about, do I actually need to be in class constantly watching and explaining? Not really. You can clone yourself by using one of our amazing comment tools. All right. And again, it stays completely on here. All right. So questions on either embedding a text comment for YouTube or creating a screencast of yourself. All right. I am going to go ahead and come back to my slides. So we've covered Kami Library, Split and Merge, our comment tools, our annotation bank. Okay, cool. So let me explain this one because this one is going to be a complete lifesaver for you guys. And this will probably be, oh no, I have you guys till 5:15. Never mind. The annotation bank. So, where am I? Right here. So when you record the screen capture and you're like, dang it, this is like some of my best work. I need to save this because obviously I'm going to keep on teaching math and this is going to come up again next year. I don't want to have to redo this video. You can actually save this video. If you notice with any comment, whether it's a comment that you made, for example, here, or an annotation, an annotation that you made, or it's an annotation that you got from somewhere else, like a YouTube video, all of them have a little box next to them. This little box, when you hover over it, says Add to Annotation Bank. If you click on it, it's going to say create a new annotation bank. Yep. Do you want to add this? I do. So I've confirmed it and that little box is gone. Same thing right here. This is my screen capture. I'm going to save it as well. But I'm going to call this one, what are we calling it? Trinomial. There we go. And I'm going to save that to the annotation bank. Now what this has done is it's taken them and put them into my annotation bank. Now, if you're wondering where your annotation bank is, trust me, I wondered the exact same thing the very first time I heard about this. If you go up to where it says Kami on the top left-hand side of your Kami screen, you're going to see what we like to call the toggle sidebar. It looks like a little window. If you click on that window, you're going to see a couple of options. The first one just shows you the thumbnails. If this was in outline mode, you could do that, but we don't have it for this assignment. If there was attachments, you'd also be able to see those. But the fourth option, the one that looks like a little thought bubble, that is your annotation summary. So this is the edit history. So if you've ever wondered, you're doing this in group work, you want to know who's doing what, you can look at the edit history. But the very last one, the little box that looked like the exact same box you clicked on, that is your annotation bank. So I've saved a couple of these. So I'm going to scroll all the way down because these are the last two that I've saved. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this one. This is my trinomial one. So brand new year, brand new class. I want to use it again. I can go ahead and just drop it. And there's my trinomial. And then I'm going to go ahead and delete my YouTube video. And here is my YouTube video. And again, I can just drop this wherever and it'll populate it right there. Now, what you have to know about the annotation bank is each annotation bank is going to be personalized to each teacher. So what I have in mine is going to be very different from what you have in yours. but you can add as many of these annotations as you like. You can also create different folders. So for example, this one that teaches about line, I can definitely drop it into the math one. And within my math one, I even have a formula chart. So if I needed to grab my little formula chart, I totally can. This is for 6th grade math, and you're like, it doesn't really fit there. You can always delete it. But again, all of these can be saved into your annotation bank. So questions on how to save and how to access from your annotation bank. All right, let's move along. All right, let me close my little annotation bank again. Oops. The good thing is nothing ever goes away on Kami. You'll always find it in your recents. All right, so we've got this one. All right, so this is going to be part of your Google Classroom integration. What this allows you to do, it's called ClassView, and I'll go into my demo account in a little bit. It's going to allow you to track and grade all of your students' work at once. Like you're going to be able to see all of them instead of looking at them individually. So let me go ahead and switch over to my demo account. All right. So earlier we were working with Canvas. You guys are a Google Classroom school. So the first thing that I will tell you is in order for you to access ClassView, and then what I'm going to show you after ClassView, which is publish changes, you must create a Kami assignment. So if you by accident or for whatever reason just use create a Google assignment, you will not have access to ClassView. It specifically has to be a Kami assignment. So here we have a couple of Kami assignments that we've already created and that our wonderful team has worked on. So for example, we want to look at our verb matching questions. So the first thing I'm going to show you is ClassView. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Review My Work. And so here, what you as a teacher would normally do is you would look at Wendy, and then you would go to the next student, you'd see Margie's, and then Oliver, and then Amelia, and you would go one by one. If you notice up on the top right-hand corner, if you have created a Kami assignment, you're now going to have an option called ClassView. If you click on ClassView, it's going to open up a new tab and it's going to take all of your students' work. So all 13, 12, 14, 15 students that you have in your class, all of them, their work is going to be put into one Kami document or like one Kami screen, and you're going to be able to see all of their work and you're going to be able to grade. Now with Google, you're only able to use what tools are available to them, so you can do a grade and a private comment, and that's about it. With Kami, you're able to grade using all of our different tools. So you can throw in a comment and it doesn't necessarily have to be typed out. You can do a voice comment and say, hey, Jamie, you did great. Amazing work. Thank you so much. And then just hit stop. Let me move this. There we go. And then you can add even a little image here. You can add text. You can do so much, and then just scroll left, right. And that way you're able to see all of your students' work. You can include a video of yourself explaining exactly what you need to do. And what you can also do if you're in ClassView is you assigned this and the students are working on it, you can go into ClassView and you can monitor as they're working. So it has two features. One, it has the ability to grade, and then you can return. Obviously, this has not been turned in. Marie's has already been graded and returned, but it does give you the ability to grade. The second ability that ClassView allows you to do is if your students are working, so this is a quiz on Friday, and you, for whatever reason, are maybe not able to walk around your room as much as you would like to, you can hop into ClassView and you can monitor your students as they work. So that's ClassView. And again, the way you get to it is you go to the assignment, you hit review work, and then you hit class view. Now, the second change that came to Google Classroom is called publish changes. So I have my verb matching sheet, right? And I noticed that maybe my students are not 100% up to date on what a verb is. So I want to add something to it. I can go ahead and click on the PDF file and then update my work. Oops, assignment couldn't be found. Oh, somebody probably deleted it from our Google Drive. It's all right, we can try it with our math questions. Again, hit on that PDF, update the work, or maybe they deleted everything. Let's try another one. All right, so obviously something's up with our files, but it's not a big deal. What that's going to allow you to do is anything that you want to do, any changes that you want to make, you totally can. And you're going to have a button that says publish changes. And I'll show you what it looks like. So I'm not sure why those files are currently not found. But when you create a Kami assignment, down at the bottom where it says, oh no, this one only has for class view. What it's going to allow you to do under publish changes is actually push out any new changes that you make to it. Whether that is adding something to the document or you accidentally left some answers on there, you can actually delete those answers, and publish changes will make those changes to anybody with the document, whether that document has been opened. So you did it for first period and now it's third period. When first and second go back to check on it, they will see all those new changes that you made. So if you want to, for example, if you want to make a real life interactive notebook, you'll be able to see that real life interactive notebook. So let's try it with one of the ones from LAQ. There we go. So here we have a social studies lesson, but my kids have no clue what the Paleolithic world is. So we can go ahead and explain it via a voice comment, or we can include a add media, a Google image, or a YouTube video. So we can explain these different things to our students. So we can say, today the focus is going to be on early humans and the Paleolithic world, and so they'll be able to go through their assignment, and then I'm just going to go ahead and hit publish changes. Do I want to? Yes. That means any student who has this, they will now be able to see those new changes to their assignment. Whether they opened it yesterday and they're going to open it again today, they'll see the new changes today. Okay. So any questions on the new changes that have come to Google Classroom? Right. So going back here, so class view, publish changes, brand new to Google Classroom, and they're also, of course, available for Schoology, Canvas, and Microsoft Teams, which you guys are not, don't have to worry about that. We have now multilingual dictionary voice typing settings, so that's pretty cool. So if you are still having your babies practice in Spanish, please know that we do have voice typing, and voice typing can actually be done in Spanish. So this is actually even useful for teachers if you have to write a note to a fellow teacher, a fellow parent. You can do voice typing in Spanish. You just have to go to your initials, go to your settings, scroll, look for speech to text language, and we are going to use Español Mexico, and then always hit refresh. So now I can go ahead and use my voice typing. Let me go ahead and make this a little bit bigger so everybody can see. And make sure that the color is dark. There we go. So now I can use my voice typing, but it's going to be in Spanish. El día de hoy estamos viendo cómo podemos resolver las proporciones para buscar cuál va a ser la área del triángulo. So there is my very lengthy sentence. Not sure why my text box was so wonky, but there's my sentence. As you could see, you also do have the ability, it has where you have your accents. So you don't have to worry about, is it going to spell it correctly? Is it going to include all the accents? It actually is. So you don't have to worry about any of that. And then your students can use a dictionary. So for example, they have no clue what a triangle is. So obviously my dictionary is currently in English, but all I have to do is go to Spanish, and it now has it in Spanish. It'll also read in Spanish. I just have to switch out. I just have to switch out the language. And go back to my dictionary, and it'll now read it. Let me go ahead and turn up my volume.
Figura geométrica de 3 lados y 3 ángulos. Figura imaginaria formada por 3 vértices o 3 elementos que tienen una relación.
Yeah. So again, we've gone multilingual with our dictionary. Currently, it's English US, English UK, and Spanish, but with our read out loud, you do have any multitude of languages. It's not just English and Spanish. You have anything from Arabic all the way to Vietnamese is the last one that we have. So what this does is it reads the language of the document. So it does not translate, but it reads the language of the document. So if the document were in Spanish, it'll read it in Spanish. If the document were in Vietnamese, it reads it in Vietnamese. If it were in French, depending it's whether French from France or Canadian, you have to make sure you choose which one of the options it is. But yeah, so you've got multilingual in the dictionary, multilingual in our read out loud, and multilingual in our text box. Lastly, the one I want to show you before I leave for a Q&A is that you can actually change out the entire language for the UI. So the user experience, what you see. Again, I'm going to go into my settings, but now instead of, I'll switch my speech to text language back to English. But now right above that, I have language, and I'm going to switch this to Español and then hit refresh. So now my entire UI has changed to Spanish. So all the tools are now in Spanish, as well as when I come into my dashboard, it has now switched it over to Spanish. And again, that is found in your settings. That is for the language itself. This one, it's also constantly growing. We've got English, Spanish, French, Dutch, Afrikaans, but we are constantly adding to these tools, just like the way that we are always constantly adding to Kami. So the latest and greatest that you're seeing today in this session, for example, we've got our language settings and all of this. This will probably be different next year. Okay, so again, I thank you so much for your wonderful time. Efrain has dropped in a survey for you guys into the chat. And again, my name is Belsa. Today with me was the lovely Chelsea. And if there's anything that we could ever do for you, please let us know.
Thank you, Belsa. Appreciate that.
Always.
Yeah, if y'all have any questions, please drop it in the chat. We're open to communication. So anything you want to ask, just let us know. We'll be here for a bit before logging off.